Hey YouTube, James from the Wyvern Watch here with another deck profile. And as you can see on this occasion, it is Dual Avatar. Now it's not a popular archetype, this particular one, but there's some really beautiful cards in here, and I decided to put the deck together a little while back now. Unfortunately, it doesn't see a lot of play from anyone really, as it's not a very powerful deck and obviously relies on fusion summoning quite a lot, which is no bad thing, but its main gimmick is using the token generation in order to sort of get the materials to fusion into some of the empowered monsters or the armored monsters available in its arsenal. And I like the sort of concept around that. I like that it's got its own little token. And like I say, some of the artwork's absolutely fantastic. So please don't go into this thinking it's a competitive build, because it absolutely certainly isn't. This is definitely a funzy only build. I've tried to use all of the dual avatar cards available to the archetype. Put some relatively staple stuff in there, most of which sort of locks you into fusion summoning, which is its sort of downfall really, I would say. You know, if you could perhaps use some of those tokens for link summoning, that would be absolutely ideal, but it's obviously not, you know, they didn't want to sort of overpower it, because you can put an awful lot of tokens on the board at the same time. Without further ado, let's show you the build and show you the cards available, and run through a few of their effects, of course. So the first one is just basically known as Fists. Dual Avatar Fist Yuhi. So you can target one dual avatar monster you control and destroy it, and if you do, add one dual avatar spell from deck to hand. And if a face-up dual avatar monster you control that was fusion summoned using an effect monster as material is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. So a little bit of recursion there as well. But obviously you can go ahead and destroy one of the tokens in order to get its effect off, which is ideal, of course. Now, the monster lineup is very thin anyway. There's actually only two dual avatar main deck monsters, and this being the other one. And obviously we're running both at 3. So this is dual avatar Feet, Kokokyu, that's right, Kokokyu, I think is the pronunciation correct for that one. But yeah, if this card is normal or special, you can add one dual avatar trap from your deck to hand. And during your opponent's turn, if a face-up dual avatar monster you control, except Feet, is destroyed by battle and card effects, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can apply this effect. Destroy one dual avatar monster you control, and if you do, special summon one dual avatar fusion monster from your extra deck. And again, you can only use that once per turn. But again, really cool looking warrior cards, these, to be fair, and that's sort of the reason why I put it together. So that's the two dual avatar main deck monsters. So just in support then, of course, you can put whatever you want in there, I suppose, to support your dual avatar monsters. But I've gone for some effect veilers. I think they're pretty good still in this format, if I'm perfectly honest. I mean, we all know what effect veilers do. There's one or two, I think there's just, in fact, yeah, there's just the one synchro monster in here, if just in case it comes up where you know, you've just got the one monster on the field and you've got available. It's available to you to normal summon this, and of course you can just go into one of the synchros, which I'll show you later. And last of the monsters, because of the number of sort of spell and traps that we are utilising in this deck, and there are a lot of them, Lord of the Helly Prisons I thought was suitable. Offers a little bit of protection for your back row, but also obviously you know, as an easy special summon should the opponent go after the back row. And at the end of the day, it's an 3,000 attack point monster, so I thought quite suitable for the deck. Now onto spells, and this first one is really the main reason why I decided to put this together, because it's absolutely fantastic artwork on this card. I'll show you a little bit closer up, but There we go. Yeah, secret rare, dual avatar invitation. We're running it at 3. But yeah, fantastic looking thing, and honestly, that's you know, once you get a card like that, it's always a temptation for me to go and build a deck. So discard 1 card, and if you do, special summon as many dual avatar spirit tokens as possible, which are warrior light, level 2, attack 0, defense 0. But also for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters, and all tokens you control cannot be distributed or and are destroyed during the end phase. After summoning these tokens, you can apply this effect up to twice. You can fusion summon 1 dual avatar fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. You can activate this card once per turn, but obviously you can actually fusion summon twice using the same card. So again, utilizing those tokens that you're going to put on the field. Next card is also a token generator, but this is the field spell. So Perfect Sync Aeon. So when this card is activated, you can add 1 dual avatar monster from deck to hand, immediately a searcher. And if you control a dual avatar effect monster, you can special summon 1 dual avatar spirit token, warrior light, level 2, attack 0, defense 0. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except fusion monsters. You can always use the effect of Perfect Sync once per turn, and you can only activate 1 per turn. So yeah, another way of getting another token on the field. Continuing with 3 ofs, more support cards, but this one works really well. So this is Fusion Deployment, which you may have seen in other profiles. Quite a good one if you have fusion monsters that specifically mention a monster as material. So reveal 1 fusion monster in your extra deck and special summon from your hand or deck 1 of the fusion materials whose name is specifically listed on the card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters for the turn you activate this card. Again, you can only do it once per turn, so it's yet another card that locks you into fusion extra deck monsters. Now, the last of the 3 ofs, I've gone for a play set of Supply Squad as well. Because we are destroying monsters quite a lot, you know, we can take advantage of that and try and gain some advantage from the destruction itself. So once per turn, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can draw a card. So I thought relatively suitable for the deck. But again, that playset can easily be switched out with something else. If when you build in your version, you think that maybe you want an extra hand trap or whatever, they can easily be taken out. On to 2 ofs then. We've now got back into the avatar cards. So we've got dual avatar defeating evil. Target 1 dual avatar monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them, and if you destroyed a dual avatar fusion monster you control by this effect, you can apply one of these effects. You can draw a card, or indeed banish 1 card from your opponent's graveyard. Quick play spell, that's obviously a little bit of interruption for your opponent there. One last 2 of which is just a simple Pot of Desires. We're running a lot of 3 ofs in the deck, so shouldn't hopefully cause too much damage by going for the extra 2 cards in your hand. And then a few 1-offs in terms of spells, so trying to get all these on. So what have we got? 5, Scapegoat, Instant Fusion, Monster Reborn, Terraforming, and a Reinforcement of the Army. All obvious, obviously going for Perfect Aeon for the Terraforming. The main deck monsters are all warriors anyway. If we can get one of them back on the field, that's always going to be advantageous. Instant Fusion going for one of the, in fact 2 of the fusion monsters are level 5 or lower, and Scapegoat just utilising the fact that we've got tokens available anyway. So that's what all those are for. On to traps. As mentioned before, there's a reasonable good trap count here. So first is a 3 of Dual Avatar Compact. So during the main phase, banish 1 dual avatar spell trap card from your graveyard except dual avatar compact. This card's effect becomes that spell trap card's effect when that card is activated. So you can basically repeat one of the cards that you've already used, which includes, of course, Invitation and the others if needs be. Then 2 2-ofs, so we've got Dual Avatar Ascendance and Dual Avatar Return. put those both on. Let's put them just there. You get a good view on them. I think target one dual avatar monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Then if its original level is 4 or lower, you can special summon one dual avatar spirit token, warrior light, level 2, defense 0. Attack 0, defense 0. You can only activate once per turn. So that's the turn, obviously, you know, again, getting the tokens back on the field again. And dual avatar ascendant, so target one dual avatar monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon one dual avatar monster from deck or extra deck whose level is 1 higher or 1 lower than the monster you had on the field. And then during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard and target one dual avatar monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Nice little recursion there as well. And last for the main deck, I've just got a very simple 2 Solemn Strikes, just to give it a little bit of protection if we can. Like I say, there's not a lot of it in here, but what you've got available to put in the deck and give it a little bit of support is also a good advantage. Moving on to extra deck then. So like I say, obviously majority of it is fusion, because there's so much locking into fusions, but I have got a couple of others as well, just a few staples to fill out the 15 really. So we'll start with the empowered monsters. So these are sort of the boss monsters, I would say. So we've got 2 of each. So you've got dual avatar empowered Congayo, I think it is, Congeo maybe, and dual avatar empowered Mitsujaku. We'll go with that for now. But yeah, so they're the boss monsters. So the first one requires dual avatar fists specifically and 2 dual avatar monsters. So as long as you've got fists on the field, you can obviously, the other 2 could then potentially be the tokens. But if this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. If this card attacks after damage calculation, turn, you can return 1 monster your opponent controls to the hand. And when your opponent's spell or trap card effect is activated that targets this card on the field, while you control 2 or more fusion monsters, quick effect, you can negate the activation. You can only use once per turn. So yeah, nice little, a 3,000 point attack monster, little bit of negation on there, a little bit of battle phase action going on. Nice to have. And then the second one is dual avatar feat specifically, plus 2 dual avatar monsters. So this card, the first time each dual avatar monster fusion monster you control will be destroyed by battle each turn it is not destroyed, and then once per turn during your main phase you can return all spell trap cards from your opponent's controls to the hand. And when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's field while you control 2 or more fusion monsters, quick effect, you can destroy that monster. Again, nice little features, not massively powerful, but they've got to start somewhere, I suppose. Now these are sort of your more go-to ones, so I've now got 3 of each, so we'll start with this one. So this is Armored A Gayu. But this is where the artwork starts to come in again as well, because these are brilliant. They remind me of my Yang Xing build actually, and obviously the East Asian origin I imagine, but they are really good looking cards. So these just require 2 dual avatar monsters, so nothing else specifically. So if this card is special summoned, you can target 1 attack position monster from your opponent. Let me start again. Excuse me. You can target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Also, this card can attack directly for the rest of this turn. You can only use the effect of dual avatar fist, blah, 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 once per turn. And while you control a dual avatar fusion monster that was fusion summoned using an effect monster as material, all dual avatar monsters, fusion monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. So again, just the level 6 fusion there. And then the other one is the level 5 fusion, so instant fusion compatible. There we go. So again, just 2 dual avatar monsters on this one. So if a dual avatar fusion monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy 1 dual avatar monster you control instead. And during the main phase, If you control a dual avatar fusion monster that was fusion summoned using an effect monster as material, quick effect, you can target one face-up monster. You can target one face-up monster special. Pardon? You can target one fusion monster special summon from the extra deck, negate its effects until the end of the turn. Right. So yeah, sorry about that. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit at the moment. Now, just the one on this one. Now, this is the newest one, and I think it probably deserves a higher number. So I might go down to 2 of each on the armored guys as opposed to the empowered guys, and create a bit of room for this card. But it's Manifested Aeon. So 2 dual avatar monsters again. This card gains the following effects based on the original names of the materials used for the fusion summon. So if it was summoned using Empowered Gaio, the attack of the battling dual avatar monster, the attack of your battling dual avatar monsters become 3,000 during damage calculation only. And then if it was using Empowered Mitsu Jaku, once per your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target 1 card on the field and banish it. And then if this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can special summon 1 dual avatar fists and 1 dual avatar feet from your deck. And if you do, they cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. Pretty useful card. Maybe I just need one more of on that one. Not entirely sure, but to get its effects off, obviously you're going to be using the empowered guys, which means you've used quite a lot of material to get there in the first place. And then just 4 cards left in the extra deck. Just a staple Nightmare Phoenix. This is the Synchro card I told you about. So Armades, Keeper of Boundaries, a really old card, but a nice level 5 Synchro on that one. Sky Cavalry Centaura, because obviously the tokens are all level 2, and which means we can then potentially go into a Downer Magician as well, if we wish. But again, they're very, very rarely used, I would say. So just additions in there. And then the only thing I would also play, because obviously you're going into them an awful lot, is the spirit tokens themselves. So, you know, if you've got capacity, get these as well, because they're a really nice little addition, and they're absolutely perfect for the deck, of course. They're, you know, specifically list warrior, level 2, attack 0, defense 0, just to remind you what these spirit tokens actually are. But they're specific for the archetype, and it's just nice to have if you're going to build a deck, and I don't think they're particularly expensive. I think they were OTS pack 14, OTS pack 14, so they shouldn't be too difficult to get hold of. But you know, if you're going to build a deck, I would definitely go and get those as well. Just add something to it. Guys, that's it for the deck profile. So appreciate your time today. It's probably not one you've seen a lot of. Like I say, it's not something that's been played an awful lot, but I built it, and it is really good fun to play. And obviously, you know, if you go and play up against one of these meta decks, you're going to get absolutely creamed. But it's still great fun against some of the lower form decks, I would say. But this is what I'm all about. You build a deck because you like the fact, you like the look of it, you like the play style. You don't always expect to win every game. In fact, it's a big celebration if you do win one, in fairness, especially with this deck. But I just like the way it puts together. And obviously, if you're going to go and build your own version of it, there's plenty of cards in there that you can pull out and switch out with more impactful cards if you wish. I'm sure there's probably some later support that might fit this deck a little bit better, which I need to perhaps look into. But that's my build for now. Guys, thanks very much. Keep the comments coming as usual. Like I say, really appreciate support on there. And like the video, of course, if you feel that it's something that you did like. You know, I hope you've watched all nearly 20 minutes of it. But until the next profile, thanks once again, guys, and we'll see you next time.